Hey, I'm glad you stuck around and you're here to learn more about the 7 core principles that make you a complete artist. So I don't want to waste your time. I'm gonna list them through really quickly first, and then we're gonna go through each principle individually one by one and then talk about how important they are. Now I'm gonna save the most important ones for last, because really if you're an artist and you're here, then I hope that you've got these first 3 covered because they're the simplest ones, if you know what I mean. But actually they take a long time to actually master. Right, so let's name the 7 core principles that you as an artist need to have to become a complete musician, complete artist, and a really, really successful music artist. So the first one is songwriting. The second one is music production. The third one is mixing and mastering. The fourth one is distribution. The fifth one is actually marketing. The sixth one is monetization. The seventh one is something I like to call fulfillment. In other words, how do we fulfill all these things? How do we fulfill ourselves? And how do we create fulfillment in the audience and the fans that are listening to our music, right? So fulfillment is broken down into 3 things. Now let's go back and talk about each individual one separately. Songwriting is something that I think is the foundation of you as an artist. It's something that you need to know how to do. Quite simply, it's the basis of any artist, right? You're not an artist unless if you can write songs. Now, songwriting is broken down for me into at least 2 or 3 parts. I'd say 2 parts mainly. One is the obvious one, the songwriting as the actual lyrics. The second one, which is maybe not so obvious, but you do it naturally, is the melody. So if you're writing a song, you always have a melody that you hum. Now, there's a little bit of a debate here whether the lyrics are more important than the melody or the melody is more important than the lyrics. Depending on which style of writer you are, songwriter you are, you might start off with the lyrics first and then put a melody to it. Some would start with a melody first and then put a lyric to it. Either way, all methods are valid in how you create a song. Doesn't really matter so much. It just depends on what works for you. But you do have to have these 2 elements working well for you. Now, does that mean that you have to be great at both? No, not necessarily. If you're not a great songwriter, you can work with great songwriters who can give you a good lyric, right? Give you a good tune. There's many ghostwriters that are out there, I won't mention names, who write songs for certain people, and this is perfectly fine, especially in the R&B, soul, and even some of the genres like rock and roll, but not so much in the genres like hip hop and rap, because hey, that's more personal, right, in some ways. So that's songwriting covered really quickly. It's about your lyrics and your melody. Get that right, and once you get that right, then you can kind of look into the next thing, which is production. So why do we start with songwriting? We start with songwriting because for me, songwriting is the essence of who you are. It tells me exactly who you are as an artist. If you're the kind of artist who writes lyrics that are very aggressive, it tells me that your personality is someone who's probably aggressive. If you're the kind of artist who writes music that's a little bit maybe softer, more mellow, more chill, that's probably your personality as a songwriter and as a person. So it gives me great insight into who you are. The better songs you write, actually, the more it kind of gives me insight into who you are. Great songwriters are people who can really tell you a story and really kind of capture your imagination in some ways with words. And it's a really powerful tool to have. Now, melody, obviously, is quite a simple one. Melody is super powerful because it's the thing that gets into our subconscious most of the time without us even kind of understanding what the words are. Someone like myself, I really value melody quite a lot. I normally start writing melody before I start writing lyrics, because for me, melody is the thing that sticks with you. You ever hummed a song and just kind of heard a song one time and just kind of kept playing, and you're like, what is that song? It goes like, so that's not my best singing voice, but you get my meaning, right? When you hear the melody of a song, it sticks in your ear. It's like an earworm, right? And then it's like, I can't get it out of my ears, man. I just can't stop hearing that song. That's the power of a great melody. I personally think you should always prioritize melody, because I think melody has a powerful way of getting into our soul inside in our psyche without us necessarily understanding the lyrics. So start with songwriting, start with the melody, start with the lyrics as well. And then from those 2 things, you can move on to the next phase, which is production.